We are learning more at 11 about serious allegations against the former St. Helens police chief, with a new report accusing him of everything from a hostile work environment to blackmail, even pornographic messages and faked police records. Alma McCarty spent the night combing through that investigation. Alma?
Yeah, David, that report from a third party contains a long list of grievances. We spoke with the city administrator today, who said it's the scope of the allegations that stands out the most.
Yeah, it's the totality of it. There's so much, and on a personal level, for me, I felt like I should have known sooner, should have done something sooner.
That's John Walsh, St. Helens City Administrator, speaking about a newly released report, more than 100 pages long, about former police chief Brian Greenway.
We're at a place where there's a breach of trust with our community leaders here, and that we had employees that had been experiencing misconduct. That misconduct was not being reported.
But around the time the city began receiving reports of alleged misconduct, Greenway was placed on paid, non-disciplinary administrative leave. 10 days prior, KGW spoke with Greenway about his decision to no longer staff officers 24 hours a day. At the time, he said this was due to a failed bond measure, and that it was getting harder to find qualified candidates.
The magic number we need is 14 patrol officers to be able to continue 24-hour coverage.
However, as alleged in the new report, a lieutenant told investigators Greenway openly voiced that he hoped the department wouldn't get candidates during open hiring and hoped the city would, quote, feel it. And that's just one example of a series of allegations of unprofessional and inappropriate conduct.
I've had suspicions, but we had an employee finally come forward and make a formal complaint.
After several interviews, the author of the report, a retired police chief himself, came to two conclusions. First, he found extensive issues with Greenway's treatment of employees and department culture. And second, with Greenway's apparent efforts to undermine city leaders and his involvement with the police union. The report says he falsified a fitness report for an officer so that the officer could get a raise, a felony crime according to investigators. He's also accused of sharing pornographic texts, yelling at someone in custody that he'd kick their teeth in, and making an officer cry in front of coworkers. Greenway retired mid-January, the city said, in lieu of responding to the investigation.
I'll say that it's been a really long and difficult year, and I hope that it's an opportunity to grow and do better and refine our policies, do a better job.
Okay, Alma, so the former chief retired rather than answer the investigators' questions. Has he said anything about the long list of allegations?
Well, David, we reached out to the lawyer representing Greenway, but we haven't heard back, though Greenway told the Oregonian that it's all a, quote, fishing expedition by the city to generate complaints against him because he, quote, pushed for an investigation of potential misuse of city funds. David, back to you.
Thanks, Alma. Appreciate your reporting on this tonight.